Here's my Toyota skidder. I didn't plan on it being a skidder when I first built this thing. I kind of thought of it more being a yard truck, but it's capable of way more than I thought, so I'm working it to the max. So I just got a motor lift on the back, and that's just strapped down for now so I don't weld anything up. 34 9.5s, welded front and rear, fully locked. 6.5 horsepower go-kart motor. You can see I changed the exhaust from the last videos. Sorry I didn't make a video on that. Like I said, some things I just want to do them quick and I don't have time to set up a camera. You can see the concept's pretty easy right here. I stuck with the 2 1/8, I think, exhaust pipe, and then I just built it down. There's the flex pipe. It's a 90 out, and there it just shoots up. The only thing I messed up on is this is titanium, and I welded steel to titanium or aluminum. I think it's aluminum, whatever you want to call it. It's one of the two. Yoshimura pipe, somebody knows. So even where I welded it to the thing, the side of the door, it's cracking there too, because it's just two different metals that aren't supposed to be welded. But it's holding so far, and I don't have to smell all the exhaust from how it was built before. Using a Blue Max chainsaw, 22-inch bar, 57 cc's. The saw was like $137 on sale. I had bought one about 2 years ago when there was another sale, and it had 2 bars. I think it was a smaller cc. But these chainsaws are really good. They're really dependable. It was the best saw I've ever owned for 2 years, and then I think the carb went, which is common, but it lasted forever, and I never had to do anything with it. They take a good beating. Cheap saw. I could buy like 4 of these for what you get a good steel saw for, so it's well worth the money. That's it. So this thing's skidding my logs out. I finally came across the sawmill on Craigslist, so I picked that up cheap. It was a price I couldn't resist, so I just had to get it. And I had the trailer kicking around, so I put the sawmill on the trailer that I had kicking around. And I'm fully operational right now with just the Toyota skidder, 6.5 horsepower, and there's a 9 horse on this, so 15.5 horses. I'm skidding logs and milling them up. Here's the sawmill. It's a Norwood 25. I think it's got about 22 feet of track, somewhere in there. That's about how big this trailer is, 20-something feet. I can cut a 16. I thought I was going to build my own mill, but as I said, I found this one so cheap, it was too hard to resist buying this and being ready to go. I'm trying to build a pole barn this year, so building a pole barn and building a sawmill just wasn't realistic. But here's that, and they built a steel frame underneath, so they beefed it up before I got it, or not factory. The steel plate they welded on and added that for structural strength. And here it wasn't half right here, but I welded it together and then put it on the trailer. So it's a mobile sawmill, but it's not built to be mobile. You know what I mean? So that's a simple way to get your sawmill mobile without building your own trailer. Just get a big enough trailer. This is an old camper trailer. You can see the step on the other side. And the propane tank holder is right there. Here's the step. So if you've been thinking about a sawmill and you want to make it portable, but you don't want to build your trailer, there's no problem with this right here. I've been working on this for about a week now, and it rocks back and forth a little bit. If I had some tire stops, it might be better, but between these two cutoffs, I milled this bottom one, and then I just cut that off a piece, squared it up, and then with the rings, you could see it perfect center on the circle, which was kind of cool. If you look at the rings of the tree and how it grows, that's perfectly in the center ring. So that kind of is not level, but it's perfectly square, if you know what I mean. It's right in the center of the block. This one could technically be kicked over some, but it's solid. Oh, and then this sawmill, the only thing that was missing when I bought it is it has one log stop, and I found out as soon as I milled the first log that I'd need more stops. So this was an old 3/4 pipe wrench type clamp, and I just used these as my stops. So I cut them down, welded the top on, and then you can turn this in and out. It's not perfect, but it works a hell of a lot better than just having one stop. And then the other thing I haven't done is where these stops go in for this is cut the bottom of the trailer out so they can actually drop down. That's the only like hold up or problem as of right now using this trailer. But it's not really a problem because these are over so far that they hit the wheel of this, the guide. So really this piece right here should be over here somewhere closer to the center. But I guess if you have a big enough log, it might work. Alright, I'm going to start the truck up and head down to the trees. I'll probably cut a tree down with the Blue Max, and we'll go from there. But this is the setup I'm using. Sawmill and the skidder. Like I said, I got 15.5 horsepower into this operation, and I've already took the biggest logs out of this pile. But here's the logs I've pulled up. The little ones, it was pulling in 2-wheel drive. I didn't even have the hubs locked. And here's some beams to give you a rough idea of how big I've been milling. Going for 6x6s and 4x4s. But so there's a start. Simple operation. Hoping to build a business out of this. Yeah, I hope you like this video and it gives you some ideas for your sawmill or your dreams and goals for the future. Simple. Minimal stuff. Gas, you talk about fuel in an operation. I don't use any. I got a 6.5 horsepower truck and a 9.5 horsepower bandsaw, or 9 horses. And this one's 6.5. Pulling logs. So I highly recommend to build this truck right here. Any farmer needs this truck. Too simple.